Measuring instruments: multimeter, Megger Tester, phase sequence tester, Hipot Tester. Multimeter, also known as VOM, voltometer. A multimeter is a handheld device that combines several measurement functions, such as voltage, current, resistance, and frequency, into a single unit. Analog multimeter. In an analog multimeter, we have here the test probes. The black one is the negative probe, and the red one is the positive probe. Here on the top, as you can see, this one here is a needle or the pointer. Next is the here is called the scale. This one here is the resistance scale, and this is the voltage scale. Here is this one called the 0 ohm adjuster, and this one is the dial or infinity knob. And here, this is the range where this one, which determine which we will test. We don't have a circuit here, but we will check its parts. Here, as you can see, this is the DC voltage. From DC voltage, we have here from 0.1 to 1000 volts. Here, the DC ampere from 0.25 to 50. This one here, the AC voltage from 10 to 750 volts. Here is the resistance from 1 ohm to 1k ohm. This part here is the amperage, where it is labeled as 150 milliampere to 150 microampere. So to recall, this is the test probes. This is the important part: the needle or pointer, the resistance scale, voltage scale, the 0 ohm adjuster, the dial infinity knob, the range selector, the DC voltage, the DC ampere, the AC voltage, and here the resistance. Another multimeter is a digital multimeter. The digital multimeter easily identify the display once we turn on our selector. If we choose the voltage or ampere or resistance, it will easily display our measured parameter. Digital multimeters are the most common form of meter used today. However, analog multimeters are still preferable in some cases, like when monitoring a rapidly changing value or sensitive measurements like testing for city polarity. Multimeters are mainly used to troubleshoot electrical problems in a wide array of industrial and household devices such as electronic equipment, motor controls, domestic appliances, power supplies, and wiring systems. The next measuring instrument is the Megger Tester. It is an insulation resistance, IR quality, of an electrical system degrades with time, environment condition, example, temperature, humidity, moisture, and dust particles. It also gets impacted negatively due to the presence of electrical and mechanical stress, so it is become very necessary to check the IR of equipment at a constant regular interval to avoid any measure fatal or electric shock. There are two types of Megger Tester. It is manual type or hand-operated, electronic type or battery-operated, wire leads, selection switches, and indicators. A digital display shows the IR value. Wire leads, two nodes of wire leads for connecting Megger with electrical external system to be tested. The selection switches, it is the switches used to select electrical parameters ranges. The indicator indicates various parameters status, example, power, hold, and warning. The device enables us to measure electrical leakage in wire. Results are very reliable as we should be passing electric current through a device while we are testing. The equipment basically uses for verifying the electrical insulation level of any device such as motors, cables, generators, windings, etc. Safety precaution: never touch the test leads while the handle is being cranked. Another measuring instrument is the phase sequence tester. The phase rotation or phase sequence measurement is needed when connecting three-phase supplies to electrical drives, electrical motors, and other electrical systems. Phase sequence meters show the correctness of three-phase connection to loads. If the phase sequence is not in a correct manner, it will lead to malfunction of load systems. Phase sequence testers are useful portable devices designed to check the direction of phase rotation in motorized machinery with three-phase supplies. These testers provide LED indication of both clockwise and counterclockwise rotation. Correct phase sequence is needed to avoid malfunctioning of equipment and avoid serious damage to the load. Another measuring instrument is Hipot Tester. Dielectric withstand or Hipot testing checks for good insulation in medium and high voltage apparatus. The opposite of a continuity test, insulation is stressed above nominal values to ensure minimal current leaks from the insulation to ground. Hipot test sets consist of high voltage lead, a return lead, and ground lead. The high voltage lead is connected. Hipot test sets consist of a high voltage lead, a return lead, and a ground lead. The high voltage lead is connected to the device under test, with all other components grounded, and the resulting current is measured through the return. If too much return current flows, the test set internal protection will trip. The Hipot test is a go, no-go test, meaning leakage current must not trip the test set, but there is no minimum acceptable value. Hipot test is applied after tests such as fault condition, humidity, and vibration to determine whether any degradation has taken place.